Hi everyone, it's Dawn. Well, this isn't me. This is an eastern painted turtle. I'm behind the camera today to teach you a little bit about reptiles on this edition of Little Wonders Nature Shorts. So what are reptiles? Well, they're critters with dry, scaly skin, like turtles. Reptiles lay their eggs on land. And when they hatch out of these eggs, they look exactly like their parents, just in miniature form. Now, the eggshells of reptiles kind of feel like your skin. They're leathery. Not like chicken eggs, which are hard. Now let's look at some turtles that we have around here. In our ponds, you would find not only the painted turtle, but this guy, the snapping turtle. They get very big. I happen to have a snapping turtle shell here. And you can see the black shell. They're very streamlined because they swim in the water. And if you happen to get close enough to one, you'll see these jagged edges at the back of the shell. That tells you it is a snapping turtle. Now, if we looked at some land turtles, like the eastern box turtle, they usually have a more hill-like shape on their shell. Now, eastern box turtles are kind of common around here, but they're actually endangered. You cannot collect them or have them as pets because there's not as many as there used to be. Box turtles are pretty unique because they're one of the only turtles that can pull their body completely inside their shell and close it up like a box. Box turtles love strawberries, wild strawberries, and worms and greens, whereas that snapping turtle would eat things in the water. Like what? Well, they'd eat fish and frogs. Now, if we take a look at a turtle shell, I said they have dry, bumpy skin. Well, that includes on their shells. So the colored pieces are scales. And when the scales come off, you see the bone underneath. Now, you have bones inside your body. But turtles also have a bone on the outside, and that is the shell. So all this is bone. You can see the spine inside. So the turtle cannot live without its shell. And there would have been that other piece there on the top to help it close up inside its shell. Now, some of my favorite reptiles are the snakes. We have a lot of different kinds of snakes in Pennsylvania, and most of them are not venomous. So snakes are pretty harmless to us. The only venomous we might have around here is the copperhead. And they're in very wooded areas. There's also timber rattlesnakes up in the mountains. There's 2 color phases of a timber rattlesnake. But like I said, most of them are not venomous. This poor snake, the milk snake, is often mistaken for a copperhead and people kill them. But snakes of all kinds are great to have around, like the black rat snakes, because snakes eat what? Well, they eat mice. They eat a lot of mice. They keep them out of your house. And they eat other things as well. If they're small snakes, they'll eat a lot of bugs too. So milk snakes, black rat snakes are animals you might find around here. There's another kind of small snake that you might see, and I happen to have one right here with me. This is a garter snake. His name is Buddy. Actually, we're not quite sure if it is a he. He was found in my basement about 5 years ago. And some types of reptiles you are allowed to have as pets if you find them outside. Buddy is an education animal, so I kept him to do programs with. He's about 5 years old. And if you can see the color on Buddy, he's got some yellow on his bottom, and he's got black. And those are the main colors of the eastern garter snake. And all snakes have tiny teeth, even if they're not venomous. I'm not going to get him out of his container just because he's very quick and he would get away from me pretty easily. If you end up seeing Buddy's tongue flicker out, that is helping him figure out what's going on around him. So that's how snakes smell. They pick up chemicals with their tongues. So Buddy would live in the woodlands, like all garter snakes. We'll wait to see if he moves around a little bit. Oh, there goes his tongue. There he goes. I move his container. No worries, he lives in a very big enclosure in my house. This is just his travel container. But while we're looking at Buddy, let's also look at a snake shed that I brought out. This is Buddy's shed, and snakes shed their skin when they're growing and to help them keep clean. So this is just dead skin, is all this is. But you can also see those scales on the snake shed, all those bumps. And on the bottom of a snake, the scales are longer. That helps them move, because how do you think snakes crawl? They don't have any legs, right? Or hands. They crawl on their bellies. And they have their muscles and their long scales to help them move along the ground. Here's a picture of a garter snake. A little bit closer, probably clearer than Buddy. And you can see the shed coming off. Snakes even have scales over their eyes, so those peel off as well. Maybe I can move around a little bit for you. Now, as you've probably seen in all these pictures of reptiles, they all have those earthy colors. That's to help them blend in or camouflage. So most of our snakes in Pennsylvania and our turtles have those dark colors, helps them blend in to where they live, so that they can either hunt for food or they can keep from being hunted. Now I have an at-home fun activity that I've done with children up to second grade actually. You can make your own little three-dimensional snake with scales. If you print out a coloring sheet on the internet, or I can send you one, of a garter snake like Buddy or another snake, get some sunflower seeds and some craft glue and apply the craft glue to the snake on the paper with your Q-tip, and then you lay your sunflower seeds on the glue and make scales with your seeds, and you can have a really cool scaly snake. So I hope you had a good time learning about reptiles. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on our next edition of Little Wonders Nature Shorts. Take care.